There's a debate taking off over the future of Toronto's Billy Bishop Airport.
We can have that conversation after we fix the runway. Let's fix the runway now. No one is closing the airport.
So that's Toronto's mayor speaking about the issue. City staff have advised against extending Billy's airport lease. The airport says a longer lease is necessary to meet a 2027 deadline from Ottawa that says they need to expand their runway. But some Torontonians want the Toronto Island Airport shut down altogether, saying the space could be better used. John Graddick is a lecturer at McGill University's School of Aviation Management, and he is joining us this morning from Montreal. So Billy Bishop is ranked as Canada's 9th busiest airport, has millions of passengers flying in and out of it every year. Why then did city staff recommend against extending the lease?
Well, I think that the issue on this one is really a question of, how do you finance the work that has to be done to do this runway extension? And right now the bill sits between $60 and $65 million, and the owner of the airport, Ports Toronto, really wants to go to the market to basically get financing to do this extension. And when you talk about financing anything, the lender is going to look at, what's the return on investment? How long is this investment going to last? And the problem with the lease is that it's over in 2033. And that's not long enough for any type of lender to be able to, in fact, put in $60 or $65 million for a property that may not be yours in 8 to 10 years.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. And also we should point out, too, that this is not something that they want to do for aesthetics or anything else. This is something they are being told that they have to do. Billy Bishop has less than 3 years, as you point out, to extend this runway. It's 150 meters to comply with the federal government's mandate. Why was that extension called for? Remind us.
Well, it's a runway end safety area, which is basically a section of the runway that is not for active use by aircraft landing or taking off. It is there as a safety area beyond the runway end, because when you talk about aircraft, looking at using runways, they're running down the airport at about 80 or 90 knots, and then they might have to abort the takeoff, and they need enough runway space to stop the airplane. And that's where you need this extra length of runway as a safety net, literally, to basically allow the airplane to operate. So Pearson had an incident a few years ago where an Air France jet landed a little long on the runway and ran off the end of the runway, destroyed the airplane. Luckily, nobody got seriously injured. But that's the driving force behind these runway and safety areas that are there to allow for an airplane to go beyond the threshold of the runway and safely stop the airplane.
Last month, Toronto held a public meeting on the expansion project where some Torontonians questioned whether or not the airport should even exist there at all. I will say, as somebody who's traveled out of both Pearson and the Toronto Island Airport, the Island Airport is preferable. It's less busy, it's less crowded, it feels more efficient. But what are the concerns of citizens who say we don't need the airport downtown?
Yeah, well, I think we've been through this debate on several occasions over the years. And every time we talk about changing the design of the airport or investing money in the airport, we reopen that debate once again. I think that, it is not going to go away. People are going to want to basically convert that airport into a park or into recreational space. And commercially and economically, that airport is much too valuable to the city of Toronto, to the Ontario government, for it to be anything but the airport as it is today. There's a lot of investment that's been made in that airport. There's thousands of jobs that are basically very dependent on the use of the airport. So, yes, we'll have that debate one more time. But I think Ms. Chow and the Ontario government and the federal government, really understand where the value of the airport is. There's only one issue outstanding, as Mr. Poilievre has said publicly, that he would allow for an extension of the airport and to allow jets into the airport. That debate has yet to take place with Mr. Poilievre and the population of the city of Toronto. So that's something that's out there that we're not sure what the end result of that conversation will look like.
Interesting. It really is a tri-governmental issue that is taking hold. John Graddick, thanks so much this morning.
Have a good day, Anne-Marie.
You too.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.